Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Tracy Show. I want to talk a little bit about a Massachusetts student arrested by ICE on his way to volleyball practice, but he has now been released. A Massachusetts high school student who was arrested by immigration agents on his way to volleyball practice has been released from custody after a judge granted him bond Thursday. Marcelo Gomez da Silva, 18, who came to the U.S. from Brazil at age 7, was detained by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents Saturday. Authorities have said the agents were looking for the Milford High School teenager's father, who owns the car Gomez da Silva was driving at the time and parked in a friend's driveway. Speaking with members of the media outside the detention center shortly after his release on $2,000 bond, Gomez da Silva described humiliating conditions and said his faith helped him through his 6 days of detention. On his wrist, he wore a bracelet made from thin sheet of metallic blanket he was given to sleep on the cement floor. "I'll always remember this place," he said. "I'll always remember how it was." His lawyer, Robin Nice, told reporters after the hearing in Chelmsford that his arrest shouldn't have happened in the first place. "This is all a waste." Let's all listen carefully to Marcelo as he speaks on the detention center and how humiliating this was for him as an 18-year-old boy, but he still kept his faith.
Right now, this is coming to us out of Burlington right now, where a host of Massachusetts lawmakers have arrived at the facility where Marcelo Gomes da Silva was being kept in ICE custody.
And as we told you earlier this afternoon, Gomes da Silva was released just a short time ago. I believe he is walking up to the podium right now to speak for the very first time since being released. Let's see what is happening. If you're just joining us right now, he is that high school student from Milford who was detained by immigration authorities just last week. We are continuing to wait, and let's listen in.
I'm gonna go first and just introduce everything. Okay. And then Jake's gonna say a couple words. Everyone's turn over to you. But they really want to hear from you. Cool. I said, Jake, I said, no, they're gonna really want to hear from you. So we'll be pretty quick. Go ahead, son. Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I know you don't want to hear from myself and Congressman Auchincloss. You're really here to talk to Marcelo. But we just want to explain what we're doing here. We came up from Washington this afternoon. Jake, because Marcelo is his constituent, myself, because the facility where he was held is here in Burlington, to try to understand what the hell is going on. We support securing our border. We support following the law. But this administration is breaking the law. This administration is not keeping us safe by putting 18-year-old honors students in prison. I think you'll hear from Marcelo just what conditions he was held in, and Jake and I are going to go in and inspect them for ourselves. But what we see here today is not American. It doesn't represent our values. And we may very well find that this administration is just outright breaking the law. Jake?
Thank you to Congressman Moulton. I'm Congressman Auchincloss. I represent the city of Milford, and I speak on behalf of my constituents in Milford with whom I joined in solidarity on Sunday when I say that this is not what law and order looks like. My constituents in Milford support secure borders. They support their local police department. They support deporting individuals who are a threat to public safety. They do not support harassing a high school student carpooling to his volleyball practice who's an honors student, who is a member of his high school band. That does not make the community safer. This administration has its public safety priorities backwards. They are rolling back regulations on ghost guns, but pushing tax breaks for silencers, for pistols. They are pardoning the cop beaters of January 6th and bullying and harassing dreamers and high school students like Marcelo. This administration needs to fix itself. It needs to uphold the rule of law, and it needs to stop hassling communities who want to support law and order to keep their downtown safe. And I'll turn it over to Marcelo.
My name is Marcelo Gomes da Silva. I don't want to cry, but I want to say that that place, it's not good. It's not good. Ever since I got here, they had me in handcuffs. They put me downstairs, and I was in a room with a bunch of 35-year-old men, and those rooms were small compared to the size of like how many men were there. There was like 40 men in there. We would barely get any attention from the people there. It'd be really hard. I haven't showered in 6 days. I haven't done anything. The only thing I could do is thank God every day, because that's all I would do. I would pray there. I would talk about the Bible to them. Sometimes our lunch and dinner would be crackers, and I would share with the people there, because they're like all 35-year-old men who have kids, and obviously, you know, like they eat more than me, so I gave them food. I shared with them. I gave them whatever they needed. I told them about the Bible. At the end of the day, this place it's not a good spot to be. Nobody should be in here. Like, most people down there are all workers. They all got caught going to work, and like these people have families, man. Like, they have kids to go home to, and there's like genuine criminals out there that people aren't giving attention to. They're getting good people that don't deserve to be here. I was one of the translators in there, because I speak English, Portuguese, and Spanish, and they would come in there with their papers, and they would say, "Can you translate this for me? Because I don't want to sign something and get deported." And a lot of those papers, I would have to look back at them and be like you're being deported, like they're taking you out of the country. And I would have to watch people cry, like people with kids, like 10-month-old babies. No one deserves to be down there. You sleep on concrete floors. The bathroom, I have to use the bathroom in the open with like 35-year-old men. Like, it's humiliating. Like, you have to pee and poop there. I haven't pooped in 6 days. I couldn't use that bathroom. I just felt embarrassed for everybody there. That's mostly what I have to say. I thank Jesus. So, this right here is a bracelet that a Brazilian friend made me there. This is how we sleep. This is our blanket. They give us a really long sheet of this thin aluminum, I'm guessing, and we lay down on the concrete floor and put that over us and just sleep through the night. The doors are the doors are big, but there's only a small gap, and like there's days where we peek out the gap and we say, "Hey guard, can you give us something?" And he'll be like, "Yeah, I'll get you it," and he would never come back. Like, he would never. I asked for a Bible, and like for people to say that, for me to say the Pledge of Allegiance at my school every single day and not have a Bible in a federal agency place, it's horrible. It doesn't make sense to me, because like, to me, I always choose God first, and that's all I did there. I would pray. It's not a good place.
¿Nos puedes decir algo en español, por favor?
Sí.
¿Cómo te sientes?
Es un lugar muy difícil, no es un lugar legal. Muchas personas viejas fican lá dentro, y yo no gusto. La única cosa que me trajo alegría es Jesús, orando todo el día, hablando de Dios para los otros. La única cosa bien.
Marcelo, what did it mean to you to see your teammates, your classmates, they walked out of school, they played their heart out in the playoffs for you? What was it like to see your community stand up for you?
So, I never got to see anything. We don't have TVs in there. We don't get to see the daylight. Supposedly, we're supposed to stay there for under 72 hours. Like I said, I stayed there for 6 days. To check the time, we have to like try to peek our head out of that door to just see what time it is. We don't get to we don't get to see outside. We don't get to walk outside. We all stay in there. And the only chance we get to breathe is when they open that little gap and some cold air comes in. But that's it.
Marcelo, can I ask you? This has been a big display of your friends have come together, your teammates. You know, how are you feeling right now, genuinely?
I'm extremely happy. All like I said, all glory goes to God. And I heard a lot of people talk bad about my dad, but if you want to talk bad about my dad, you have to talk bad about me, because he raised me. And if I have so much support from everyone from my town, then he doesn't deserve any hate, because I was raised from him. Like, everything I got was from my dad. He's a good person. He never did anything wrong. He's a nice guy. I'm very grateful for all the support, more than anything in this world.
Marcelo, podemos decir en español, estamos al aire. ¿Cómo te sientes con lo que pasó? ¿Tu papá, algún mensaje, el apoyo de tus amigos?
Yo siento que mi papá no es bien la, how do you say, hate. No es bien la maldad que las personas están diciendo de mi papá, porque mi papá es un cara bien, porque todo el mundo dice que yo soy bien y yo pego eso de mi papá. Y yo soy muy feliz por mi comunidad.
¿Cómo has sentido el apoyo de tus compañeros del equipo de voleibol y de la secundaria luego de tu liberación?
Muy feliz, muy feliz. Estoy muy grato a mis amigos, porque yo dice a todo el mundo, tú tienes que ser una buena persona todos los tiempos. Tú tienes que ser bueno, tú tienes que ser optimístico, y así que yo viví lá dentro, orando a Dios y dando gracias a Dios.
Marcelo, you yes or no about your father going to happen to you, knowing your immigration status? Did you know that this would ever happen? And did you get a chance to talk to your family finally? What did they say?
I like that, and I'll go to you. I didn't specifically know about my immigration status because I came here when I was 6 years old. And when I got here, the woman said, she's like, do you know why you're arrested? And I said, no, I don't. She said, because you overstayed your visa. You came here in 2013, and in 2015 you overstayed it. And I told her, I was like, ma'am, I was 7 years old. Like, I don't know nothing about that stuff. Like, I don't understand how it works. And she was the only person in that place that was like, oh, like, I understand, like, I get it. She was the only nice security, one of the only nice security guards. There's this other guy that would let me use the phone at night sometimes to talk to my parents. Those two people mean the world to me. The world.
And your dad, how are you feeling about your dad's status and what's going to happen to him?
I don't want anyone to touch my dad. I want my dad, my dad would call me at night with my brother and sister, and he wouldn't stop crying, and he would talk about how, like, he can't even go outside. Like, why? Like, there's no reason for this, you know what I mean? Like, my dad has never did anything wrong. My dad's everything to me. He's never, everything I learned was from my dad, and like, if he shouldn't deserve to get any hate. I don't know.
So how do you go back to normal after this? Can you?
I don't know. I feel like I'm optimistic, like, very optimistic. I always look to God for things, so I feel like I'll always remember this place. I'll always remember how it was. I'll always be grateful for everything that I have outside of that place.
So what's the first thing on Saturday when they stopped you? What was going through your mind? Did you know immediately what was happening?
So I picked up my friend, and on the way that I was about to leave, I saw them behind me, and I saw a car behind me. I thought it was a normal car, and I just kept driving normally, and then he pulled me over. Right when I got into my friend's house in her driving lot, he stopped right behind me, and he got out his car, turned on his lights, and he knocked on my window, and he said, "Can you get out of your car?" Why? And he told me to give me my license and registration, which I did. And whatever, it took some time. I was in shock. I didn't know what was going on. And he ended up saying, "Why? Do you know why you're under arrest?" And I said, "No, I don't." Why? And he said, "Because you're illegal. You're an immigrant." But like, he gave me no reason to stop me, no reason for a traffic stop, nothing. And apparently they say they're trying to get my dad, but I'm here, like, not my dad. So that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
So do you feel like the people that say that those that are here illegally, that that's wrong and that that's a crime, what do you say to them?
Can you repeat that?
People who say that, being here illegally is wrong and that it's a crime, but you say what to those people?
I'll skip that question.
What are you looking forward to most when you get home?
Oh man, I want to hug my dog, my baby Luna, my sister, my brother, my mom, my dad.
I think your girlfriend's a Dairy Queen? Is that...
I don't know where she is.
The dog might be at my
she's
house.
everywhere.
I'm following up with her.
Yeah, she's a bishop. Yeah, mini poodle. Mini poodle.
What are you doing for your release?
After I was released, I went to get some McDonald's. Yeah.
I don't know if you had a career choice in mind. You're about to finish high school in a year. I mean, does this change the way you look at your future?
I feel like, firstly, I want to do whatever I can to, like, I obviously want to tell my story, but my dad always taught me to be humble, and my dad always taught me to put other people first. And I told every single inmate down there when I'm out, if I'm the only one that was able to leave that place, I lost, because I want to do whatever I can to get them as much help as possible. If they have to be deported, so be it, but in the right way, in the right conditions, because no one there is treated goodly down there. No one there is treated good.
Marcelo, for the last few weeks, there have been several peaceful protests out here on this lawn advocating for you and freedom of others. Just talk about what's it feels like have all these strangers that you don't even know advocating for you.
Yeah, it's incredible, but it definitely shows how America still has heart. Like, there's definitely people in America that have good intentions, that have good thought of mind. Like, it definitely showed me that obviously a lot of people care for me, but it showed me that a lot of people understand that it's not as easy as just taking someone, putting them in a detention center and sending them off to their country. There's more to that. There's family, there's love, there's community. Like, I grew up in Milford. Like, that's my home. That's the only place I'd call home. I don't see myself anywhere else but Milford. Just as my parents, like, they grew up with me, they were with me there. They don't see themselves anywhere else but Milford.
I just want to say, we're going to turn everything over to his attorney, Robin. If you have one last question. Okay, he wants to know what you got from McDonald's.
Yeah, question, yeah.
So go ahead and tell him that.
McDonald's, and also tell us what you feel like when they arrested you, and tell us what happened
Just answer that.
to the response, when they were telling you, when they're processing you, and
So I didn't really understand your question, but I'll tell you, I got French fries and chicken nuggets and a Coke. Yeah.
We'll turn everything over to Robin, and then over the next couple of days, I know you're going to have a lot more questions. We'll have a lot more to release, but if you could just cycle everything to myself and Robin, that would be awesome. Thank you. We're going to get him home now.
God bless you
Bring him
guys.
along. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
You've been listening to 18-year-old Milford High School student Marcelo Gomes de Silva, who has just been released from ICE custody in Burlington for overstaying his visa. He was pulled over 6 days ago in his car and was taken into ICE custody. He is now free on bond, and he was describing the situation inside that detention center, saying that they slept on the hard ground, that there were open-air bathrooms, that his dinner were crackers, and that now that he is released, first thing he did was go for McDonald's.
I can understand him wanting to do that. When he was pulled over, ICE says they were actually looking for his father, and because they said Marcelo had overstayed his visa, they apprehended him, and as JC mentioned, he's been in custody for about 6 days. Earlier today, a judge issued a $2,000 bond, and that ultimately led to his release. And then we heard from him just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, he said he prayed while he was there, and he really praised his father, because we don't know what happens from here. Remember, they were trying to arrest his father when they arrested him and put him into ICE custody. So there's a lot here to follow, which of course we will be doing, and you saw there Representative Auchincloss, Congressman Auchincloss, Representative Moulton there as well, following up on this story. We'll continue with all the latest developments, both on air and online, so stay with us on NBC 10 Boston for the latest updates.
We have disrupted a kid's life. We just disrupted a community's life. These kids should be celebrating graduation and prom, I assume. They should be doing kid stuff, and it is a travesty and a waste of our judicial process to have to go through this. Gomez da Silva was confined to a room holding 25 to 35 men, many twice his age. Most of the time, he was detained with no windows, time outside, privacy to use the restroom, or permission to shower. Gomez da Silva, who was active in his local church, asked for a Bible and was denied. Gomez da Silva, who said his father taught him to put other people first, said many of the men in prison with him didn't speak English and didn't understand why they were even there. And because he speaks 3 different languages, he was able to communicate. He had to inform some of them they were being deported and then watch them break down in tears. A picture that you see right here is in front of his Milford school, where students and parents and everyone was protesting to free Gomez. Gomez says that he told every single inmate down there, when I'm out, if I'm the only one who was able to leave that place, I lost, he said. I want to do whatever I can to get them as much help as possible. If they have to be deported, so be it. But in the right way, in the right conditions, because no one down there is treated good. He said some days he was only given crackers to eat, which he shared with cellmates. His first stop after being released was for McDonald's chicken nuggets and French fries. U.S. Department of Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin said earlier this week, ICE officers were targeting a known public safety threat. U.S. Department of Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin said earlier this week, ICE officers were targeting a known public safety threat, and Gomez da Silva's father has a habit of reckless driving at speeds in excess of 100 miles per hour through residential areas. Is this what ICE is calling a danger, complete danger to society? Yes, he deserves tickets and his license taken away and all that. But is this a violent criminal? Let's continue. While ICE officers never intended to apprehend Gomez da Silva, he was found to be in the United States illegally and subject to removal proceedings, so officers made the arrest. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons said, like any local law enforcement officer, if you encounter someone that has a warrant or he's here illegally, we will take action on it. Upon Silva's release, he pushed back on ICE's characterizations of his father. Everything I got was from my dad. He's a good person. He never did anything wrong. When he was able to call his parents during his detainment, Gomez da Silva said his father sobbed and said that the family was scared to leave the home. Thank you for watching and listening to The Tracy Show. I will keep you updated if I find out that Gomez's father has been detained or has been deported. Let me know your comments and thoughts and opinions in the comment section. Thank you. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.